Hello and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, the Store Screen podcast where we see new movies, or at least new to us, and talk about these movies with you, the listener. We get some fresh, goopy. Oh my god, it's too hot. The bread is still goop. I can't eat this, but I can tell you about the bread. I can tell you my opinion about this goopy bread. I am Robby Anderson, the hostess with the mostest, joined by the captain, Mike Burdge. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Hi. You doing good?
Mm-hmm. How are you doing?
Great. I'm good.
Great.
I'm good. Great. We are just a couple of boys here to talk about a wonderful, strange,
a wonderful,
important,
wacky film
set in the year of 1984. If you're listening, you already know we're going to talk about the sequel to Wonder Woman. Is it just Wonder? Is the first one just Wonder Woman?
It's Wonder Woman 1917.
I'd watch that movie.
Damn, look at us coming right out the gates in this episode.
Woo! Wonder Woman 1984. As the listener may know, or maybe they don't know, this recording is happening a few weeks after 1984. This podcast is coming out many years after 1984, but it's 2 weeks after Wonder Woman 1984 came out. And there's been quite the bustling conversation around the movie. Me and Mike are ready to get into it. As you know, this hot takes spoiler free in the first section. So don't worry about if you're really fucking worried about us spoiling Wonder Woman. Fear not, because we will not in the next 20 minutes. We will warn you. We'll take a break. We will tell you when we break into spoilers. But Mike, what is your hot take on Patty Jenkins' sequel to Wonder Woman 1917, Wonder Woman 1984?
This movie is a little bit of a mess, and I both am here to criticize some of its choices, but also I am here to champion some of its more off-the-wall decisions that may not work out completely and might actually feed the other more messier problems that are in the movie. But nonetheless, I am very inspired is probably the best word by the choice to include some of these goofball decisions in a major superhero blockbuster movie. I liken my response to some of the goofy shit that's going on in this movie to when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where I was just like, this shit is in a superhero movie. This is wild on this scale. There's definitely, in my opinion, more to mock I will in this movie. But I think that there are a couple, some tiny, some big things in this that I really do give the movie credit for trying, even if it doesn't succeed because the rest of the movie isn't really a strong enough foundation to kind of hold up those things.
All right.
Don't like the movie. I don't like it. If that's an easy.
You appreciate things about it.
I appreciate some of the things that they're trying to do because they are risks and they didn't have to take risks. And we know now from the conversation that's been going on for a while that Patty Jenkins was pretty much allowed to do whatever she wanted in this movie. There was almost virtually no studio oversight, with the exception of something towards the end that the studio insisted on that she caved on just because they hadn't really messed around with anything else. And I think in her words that it wasn't even really that big of a change anyway. I'm not exactly sure what that was.
Yeah.
But this is a director with an idea. She wrote the story. She helped write the screenplay. She directed it. She pretty much had full control of what she wanted to do. So at the very least, you have that.
Yeah. I think feel very similarly to you, Burdge. I imagine I'll have less the champion than you will, which we could probably expect. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, I think the movie is a mess. I was just very confused watching it, like what its direction was supposed to be, with this backdrop in the 80s. It's like, is it trying to go for like this nostalgia pull for, the shining neon lights of capitalism? Is it trying to feel like superhero stories of yore. I both admire its simplicity, and I kind of wish that it remained simple, because like what the plot of the movie is fairly simple. It's a little bit like it's kind of Aladdin, but Wonder Woman. The things I appreciate about the movie is that it's not a movie that's crazy. It's a superhero movie that's not really predicated on like action that much, which I can kind of appreciate. The movie's like penultimate showdown isn't like doesn't have the same problems that Wonder Woman 1 had, which I think is very much in response to the criticisms that the first Wonder Woman movie had. The movie feels completely disjointed at times. It's very long, long to the point where you just feel its minutes, like someone blasting sand, like the sands of time in your face. I got older watching this movie, and I fell asleep halfway through it, but then I watched the rest. There's a lot of fun performances in it. I don't think the movie looks very good. I don't think the special effects are very good, and I'd like to say that is a choice, but I don't really know. I don't think the movie. There's just so many things on like a technical level that I don't think are very good. I don't think that the way the movie starts is very interesting, despite it like setting up its kind of what its like moral epicenter is. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird movie. But there's some of its boldness I can appreciate.
Sounds like we're kind of on the same page here.
Yeah.
With it is hard. Let me rephrase. I would imagine that it would be hard for someone to defend some of the issues that this movie very clearly has. That doesn't mean that they can't like it and enjoy the movie. There's loads of movies that I like and enjoy that have pretty serious issues, whether they be, film-wise, like how it was written, how it was shot, different stuff like that, or even cultural-wise, like insensitivities due to the time or just like negligence and not understanding certain things that I can still enjoy and get into. But at the end of the day, I do understand that those are issues and that some of them are pretty inarguable. And I feel like this movie does have like just some very root problems with it. I'm not one to like kind of really use the whole plot hole thing. Like, I don't think that, I don't believe in plot holes. I think that plot holes are that's just them fucking up on the script and not explaining things correctly. And a plot hole is like a more specific way that you can kind of toss a term onto that. But I feel the same way about MacGuffins, where I'm like, MacGuffins are in every movie. It's just sometimes it's an object, sometimes it's an idea, sometimes it's a thing. That's how stories work. People need certain things. So I very rarely use those tools unless it is extremely evident. It's like, it's when those things are not used correctly. You can have plot holes in movies, and they can either be used retroactively to try and support mystery or something like that, or it can just be something that really ultimately doesn't matter, and maybe they did consider it and maybe they didn't. But this movie's got some stuff in it that I'm just kind of like, why did you do that? You didn't have to do that, and now you have these issues, and it's an odd duck of a movie to watch it. And again, like you said, it's long and it keeps happening, and they keep adding new things to it where you're like, why are you doing that?
It's so complicated for a movie that's also like, it's very simple.
Yes.
Like, it's a very simple movie, and they keep just like adding characters and motives and rules to it where it's just like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
There's
a lot of the characters they add I really like though. So
sure. Yeah. And it's and a lot of the performances I dig. I think it's kind of like there's like, in this movie there are moments that happen that reminded me of the ending of Avengers Endgame. Spoilers for the ending of Avengers Endgame. This will only take me 15 seconds, so feel free to skip ahead 15 and I'll be over it.
If you're the one person who
If you're the one person, yeah. At the end of Avengers Endgame, Captain America goes back in time and has lived throughout the entire thing and then gives the shield away later, leading to the whole thing that it's like, so he just let all of these things happen. Now, the main thing with that is that you didn't have to do that. That's not how you had to treat the ending of that character. And I'm going to get a little bit more vague now in case somebody did, in fact, skip ahead. But you didn't have to do that. And now you're given all of these issues that there is no way that the Russo brothers considered that idea before doing it, because they would have not done it. And it's a very obvious choice, and anything can be done in hindsight and said like this and said like that. And until we get something that's in canon that kind of reverses that, we're kind of stuck with this idea that it's like, well, you did that, so it's in there. So now these implications must be attributed to these events from here on out. And Wonder Woman 1984 does a lot of these things where you're like, what you're implying here is an extremely inappropriate and dark subtext to what's going on. And for the most part with them, you did not have to do them. I mean, technically you don't have to do anything in a movie, but I see what this movie's trying to do. And some of the choices they're making are directing towards that ultimately unattainable point that the movie is trying to go for, because this movie is trying to be about 4 different things at once. And it takes a very good filmmaker to make that work. And I'm not saying that Patty Jenkins isn't a very good filmmaker, but I think she dropped the ball on this one. Is that there's just so much stuff going on in this movie that some of it just starts to build up, and you're just like, I'm living in a nightmare. Like, and there's still an hour and a half left of it.
I wonder, I never felt this way until watching this movie. And other people have said it, but I never quite agreed or saw it myself. And I wonder if Gal Gadot was a good actress, that I would have liked this movie more. Because she's not. And I really noticed it in this movie where I'm like, she's not very good in this movie.
I have been thinking about this for a very long time.
Okay.
She is my sweet Giselle. She's our sweet Giselle. From Fast and Furious, like we...
Sure.
I do indeed. Never mind. No. I was gonna say I stan Gal Gadot, but I in fact do not.
No, I do not.
For multiple reasons, mainly personal.
It's questionable.
Yes. Which this movie also does as well, which we'll get into later. Specifically, I can't wait for us two people to talk about that.
Yeah.
I will say very briefly, I've been thinking about this a lot because I think that Gal Gadot is very misused in this movie. I think she's great in Wonder Woman. The unfortunate part in Wonder Woman is that she's placed against Chris Pine, who unfortunately in a movie that is about Wonder Woman and very much is about Wonder Woman and is a great Wonder Woman movie, he is firing on some crazy shit in that movie, and he is a scene stealer. He's fucking great. And that actually kind of elevates a lot of her performance choices in that movie. I will say, at the end of the day, yes, I do think that Gal Gadot is a good actress. I would actually say that I think she is a fine actress, but she does have her limitations is a good word. She has limitations as an actress, as all actors do. And it is the job of casting directors and directors after that, and also the actors themselves, to know what they're bringing and what they're doing. And Gal Gadot has a very almost kind of blasé tone to her voice that when used as a mythic god figure in 1917 in a fish out of water story, is utilized very well. She's almost alien-like, she's supposed to be like an alien. She's a god. She's this universe's Thor. Like, you're supposed to kind of have that. But in this one, it's supposed to be that she's like grown a little bit more, and those kind of acting choices come across a little bit more like she doesn't care. And I can't help but notice that it just seems like she doesn't care about certain things. And those lead to some of the issues where Wonder Woman is dealing with things that she very much needs to at least appear that she is caring about. So, and I think that that's the major issue. I don't like, what are your thoughts on Gadot's performance?
I mean, like, the times where her performance really works for me is when she gets to be kind of like, there's a moment where she literally winks at the camera in the movie. Not that time. But when her performance is kind of like a little cheeky, when she gets to be a little bit more stoic in the face of like other characters kind of giving her shit. And, like the parts of the movie where she's being Diana and not Wonder Woman, there are times where that performance like really works to me. I like seeing her. It's so fucking weird. I like seeing her working in the archaeologist's place. Yeah. I like her, at least, like, I like her doing that stuff. I like seeing her, like, kind of, like, command that role in this story. It's the times where she's Wonder Woman doing stuff, and I think it's partially just because, like, I do think the action's, like, really just not that good as well, so it's, like, a lot of weird things happening at once. But, in the times where she has to have, like, high emotion, like, when, if you've seen the trailer, Chris Pine's back. And when she's chilling with him, like, I never feel like she likes him that much. I don't know. Like, she's being told, like, this is the love of your life. And she's like, all right. Yeah. Like, I don't ever really see their chemistry. I think Chris Pine continues to be a scene stealer. Or it's crazy that, like, all of the side performance in this movie, I just feel like act circles around her. And it's like a little spinning. I mean, but it's like, times. Yeah, like she's like, I agree that I think Chris Pine's good in it. I don't think he's as good. He's obviously given a lot less to do, and that might be some of it. He's just a charming dude, and I like him, so I'll toss a lot at that. But like Gal Gadot is also like an extremely charming, just like like a beautiful presence on film. Like and she is like. Very big and looks like a god. And so there's a lot that like her physicality is already bringing to a performance. And the fact that she is very good with like I'm not a professionally trained actor. I did act way back when. I've taken classes and I've studied acting stuff and everything for all of my criticisms and everything. You used to go by the name Philip Seymour Hoffman. You were in Almost Famous for a while.
I don't like this.
Oh, stop.
I don't like this. I took his passing very hard. You know that.
Oh, well, you should feel so happy that I'm comparing him to him.
I will twist this into a joke. YouTube keeps recommending to me to watch an interview with Philip Seymour Hoffman filmed 2 years before his overdose, which is him talking about his relationship with drugs. I don't know why YouTube.
You should really watch this.
It has been like, when you're scrolling through YouTube and you're like, what dumb fucking list am I going to watch next?
Yeah.
It just keeps popping up in different segments. Like in segments it shouldn't even belong in, where it's just like Daniel Day-Lewis movies. Want to hear Philip Seymour Hoffman talk about drugs 2 years before he overdosed? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
YouTube has a similar problem algorithmically that I have with like Instagram, where one day you're like, oh, I need to watch a video on how to do this one thing. Or like, oh, I watched this random video. And then the homepage is just like, so you want to know more about pasta? And it's just only, it's just like, no, I want to show me other things. Please do no, you looked at one video about pasta. Here's 700 pasta videos.
But all right, so speaking of noodles, bringing it back, Gal Gadot is her physicality is like she brings that there, and that's part of an actor's job is like just they're very like looking at them. It's why stills from movies work. Like you can understand what's going on in a scene based on the emotions and what they're doing with their bodies. I think it's just her tone and how her strengths as an actor are not really being utilized to their full potential, or even in some cases to what she can actually do. That's why Tom Cruise doesn't do dramas really anymore, is because he realized that he kind of aged out of that. It doesn't really work. And so he's like, now I'm just going to run and jump onto helicopters and shit. And that's my lane. And it's every actor. That's why Vin Diesel has never had a successful drama career, but he kicks fucking ass in these Fast and Furious and action movies. Like he understands what his limitations as a performer and an artist are. And I don't think that it's Gal Gadot misunderstanding her limitations. And I'm actually not even saying that she has them. I just think that maybe the tone shift of this movie's kind of goofiness and fun that it's having is kind of in direct, like, just like, it's like, you know, like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object kind of thing, where I don't think that there's a lot of, I think this movie is asking her to do some things that her as a performer at this point in her career is maybe just not up to the task of pulling off successfully. And it sucks. I don't like it. I don't like that. I feel like,
you know, when she is being asked to do Snyder level Wonder Woman, she does that very well, because Snyder movies are very much, I think about their look more than anything. It's very much style over substance in a Snyder movie.
And that's his MO. Yeah, totally.
Sure. So that's what I'm saying. So like casting Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in those movies and having her be Wonder Woman in those movies really plays to these strengths that we're describing.
She's like Henry Cavill. She's drawn like a fucking comic book character.
So
like,
then
it's like you look like them.
But then when you put her in like this movie that I think is trying to be like 80s DC movies and shows. I never watched the original Wonder Woman show, but I know there's some callbacks to that. I haven't seen the original Superman movies, but I wonder if there's some crossover there or some things. So, you know, I'm thinking that like this movie is a lot more about nostalgia than I even could really realize, because I'm not nostalgic for any of that. You know, for me, in my relationship to DC properties, it started with, you know, the Batman animated series and Keaton Batman, and that's kind of really, because I'm a little bit younger. That's kind of really where it starts for me. So a lot of what I think this movie is kind of like trying to be like super goes over my head, and I think it goes over a lot of people's head, and I think that's kind of part of the issue, because if this movie's trying to be like a lot more nostalgically driven stylistically than I realize, you know, like, I just don't get it, you know, and that's why like I don't think the movie's very good. I do think the movie's a mess, but I think the things that it's doing that's really working, I just don't get. And I can admit that, and that's fine.
And that's like these are the things that I was talking about at the beginning. Is some of the movie's more goofier choices are very obviously trying to be Superman or Superman 3. You know, they're trying to emulate these 80s, like the types of movies that were coming out in 1984, the year this movie is set. They are trying to emulate them. And that is a really weird thing to do, because this is at the birthplace of superhero movies. This is when, you know, Richard Donner was inventing the genre of superhero movies. Superman invented what is pretty much like, he was the first one to really do like an origin story. Like the first three Superman movies are insane to watch. And you know what? I'll even say the fourth one too, because the fourth one's one of the worst movies ever made. It's insanely fun. Superman 3 is also an absolute trash. And it actually has the thing that there's probably the most similarities with Wonder Woman 1984 with Superman 3. But like Superman 2 has like, Superman loses his powers, and it's the same thing that Spider-Man 2 does. It's the same thing that Wonder Woman 2 does. It's the same, Batman Returns is really kind of, it's a little bit like, I don't want to be Batman anymore, but that's kind of every Batman movie. That's the entire point of Batman, is he kind of doesn't want to be doing this shit. And the first Superman, you know, has like goofy shit, like, I won't get too specific because you haven't seen it, and I would really love to hear your opinions on some of the
there's
batshit
a cool take that should happen.
But there really is a lot to even, you know, like Kirsten Wiig's character in this is Selena Kyle from Batman Returns, and Jamie Foxx from Amazing Spider-Man 2, and these are things that usually get brought in on the second movie, and. Maxwell Lord, who is one of my favorite characters from the comics, deep cut for me. Love my Max Lord. His character is 100%, you know, a Donald Trump tycoon con artist-esque character, but he is completely based off of Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, which I'm pretty sure Donald Trump based his entire real personality after. It's insane, right down to the hair pieces. And so there's a lot of stuff. And so I will say, I do think that you have to have a little bit of a specific type of gas in the tank for this movie to run maybe correctly in the way that it's trying to do. But even then, like, I've got the tank and the gas that this movie is pointing at. And even I'm like, this isn't really connecting because everything else is so, you know?
It's a lot. And like, I am, the more that these superhero movies are coming out, and I'm a fucking geek. Like, I fucking get it. I'm
you're a
cool
fucking
kids.
nerd.
I know nerd stuff. But even the more that these superhero movies come out, the more, I have an eye for ones that kind of push against the grain and kind of like champion their own path and stuff like that. Like I'm almost always waiting for those kind of movies. It's one of the reasons I'm really excited for like the WandaVision show, because it's just like, well, that looks fucking weird, and it's with these characters that I know from when they're doing normal superhero action stuff, and I'm really into that. And I'm into, especially with like, and not to like just pivot to Marvel and Disney, but just I'm really into them like really trying to make really different experiences with these quote unquote superhero archetypes and characters, Yeah. I really vibe with that. It's also why I really like Legion and things like that, like where it's like, oh, it's really going back to formula and switching things up, So with this movie, like them trying to do, there's I feel like there's some voice in this movie that's just like, we're trying to do something different. We're trying to not give you your typical superhero movie, but I also think it tries to eat its own cake, or like have its cake and eat it too. Where it's just like, but we still do have Gal Gadot throwing people with the lasso and pushing trucks around and lightning zipping, and it's like, yeah, but you're not doing any of it that good. And especially if you're gonna do this like early or mid to late era 80s superhero flair, especially like having this love and nostalgia for like DC and things like that, but you're gonna make it for the gargantuan audience that this movie's going to have, you gotta just kind of dumb it down. I think that's the reason like something like Stranger Things works, is that it's so rooted in nostalgia, but it's really dumbed down for people who were not alive in the 80s to still really connect with it, Like, you can't go too narrow when you're drinking the nostalgia juice if your audience is this big, because I think that's like a weird disconnect that happened, or at least that's me describing my disconnect with the movie. That's all I can really say,
Total. And I mean, I think that's like one of the most like honest like critiques of a bad movie I've ever heard. Like, that's like, you're just like, look, this movie's got issues, but I think there's maybe something wrong with me too. But like, I always think that, and I mean, bring that in there. And it's hard to judge these big blockbusters without the context of the entire world around it. And like, we haven't even gotten into the fact that I most definitely would have enjoyed this movie at least 1% more if I got to see it in the theater. If I got to see it on a big screen, super loud speakers, a little tiny, more. Just the excitement of it probably would have been a bit bigger, and maybe I wouldn't have been able to like track some of the action and stuff. But that probably would have been of help, because like the entire truck sequence in this thing looks like a dog shit. So
it looks like, and like, listen, we've seen at this point, American audiences, international audiences have seen many a car chase, dudes.
Of course.
Especially with the superheroes. And like, listen, I can take a little bit of bad CGI here and there. I love Black Panther. The CGI in that movie is kind of not good.
Well, at the end,
shines better.
Yeah.
At the end, mostly. I guess throughout, it's like pretty much fine.
Yeah.
Some weird things here and there, but like, yeah. I mean, this movie, there's just times where I'm like, I know you guys have more money than this. What the fuck's going on? Like, and again, it's like, is it because you're going for like this like lower budget vibe?
No, they're not doing that.
I don't know, right? Yeah. That can't be
that is very, very nice of you. That's the most Robby thing I think I've ever heard you say.
I mean,
that is very kind of you to suggest.
It's also hard, like, kind of like with this movie coming out, and there's an antithesis to this movie, which is like Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is everything this movie isn't, right? Like, it has kick-ass action scenes. It's painfully modern. It is full of attitude and charisma, and it looks beautiful, and it has a kick-ass story, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's not trying to wink at you. It's just kind of trying to punch you in the face, and like I just kind of vibe more with that. I think. You know?
I mean, I think
like,
I think it's a fresher take on. Like, Birds of Prey is doing something new. Birds of Prey is trying to do what Suicide Squad failed in doing.
Sure.
And I remember when me and you watched that, like, we were blown away by that movie because we went in like, probably going to be good, let's see. And then we were like, that was actually like a really fun movie.
Yeah. No, I remember, and I still have fond memories of that movie.
You know, a year... To this day.
A year later.
To this day.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right. Well, I think we're ready to get into spoilies. Burdge, what do you think?
I would like to talk specifically about this movie. I would recommend to everybody to watch it. Little known fact, unless you read the fine print, Wonder Woman 1984 will no longer be available on HBO Max to stream January 24th. It is only up for 1 month, so if you've been putting it off, time to get on that. If you did not know this, just letting you know.
Didn't know that.
I've been bringing that up to people who haven't watched it. And I was like, well, you know, you only got 2 weeks. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it's not up there forever.
I mean, if you have it, do I recommend watching this movie? I'm in a weird place with it because we're also on the precipice of working. We are actively working on our top 10 movies or top whatever fucking movies he's doing of 2020. And so I've been trying to crush a lot of 2020 movies.
20.
20. And 20. And
I'm doing
having
2
to watch
lists
this
of top
movie.
20s.
Great. Having to watch this movie, which is the length of about like 3 other movies I could have watched, was like, all right. But it all is worth it to be able to talk about. The thing about that movie is it's all worth it to be able to talk to your friends about it.
This is the thing.
So
yeah. It's one of those.
I think it's worth watching in that.
It's one of those cultural kind of like moments, and like the time is still going on. Like the movie's been out 2 weeks, and it's still like a thing to chat about. Like we were really nervous. We didn't do it at first because I was like, I don't know, the movie's not that good. I don't know if I want to rag on a Wonder Woman movie for like 2 hours. Right now, I'm not in the mood, like emotionally to do that. But then it's like, as I thought about it and would watch certain parts of it again, I didn't rewatch the whole thing, but there were certain parts about it I wanted to rewatch, especially for this recording. I was just like, yeah, I am interested in talking about this because there's a conversation to be had about it, about what is good about bad movies. And because the ultimate movie is, to quote, a train wreck by Film Twitter, I think that there is a lot of stuff to talk about specifically in this movie that we'll get into more in the next app that I think are like really cool. And I have said to you that surprisingly of all things, and it might be one of the most Mike Burdge things in the world, I've watched over 100 movies that have been released in 2020 so far. I did a recent count. I've watched a lot this year. Well, because I had like the super duper advantage of having more time off than I usually do. Sure. And I usually watch a lot of movies when I have a full schedule anyway. So now I'm just kind of like, I'm used to like just cramming movies. So but that being said, Wonder Woman 1984 has within it probably my favorite moment of any movie I've seen that's been released in 2020. And it's like this quick 7-second aside, and you're going to laugh at me when I actually tell you what it is. But
I was looking for it, and I don't think I found it.
But you did see it, and I guarantee you did. And when I bring it up, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, unless it was like when you were looking at your phone or something, which unfortunately is something that this movie is daring you to do throughout the entire runtime.
Well, it's like we're 4.5 hours long. Why not check Twitter?
I'm not. You know? I'll be the first to admit I don't like. I try to put my phone face down, out of reach to try and make sure that I can't do anything. But this movie had me wanting to see, like, how much would it cost for me to buy 100 pounds of Legos on eBay? Like, it was like daring me to find out.
All right, well, we'll be right back with spoilers for Wonder Woman. You know, if you want to be part of the conversation, which I think is a lot of fun to have, go check it out. If not, hey, man, I get it. All right, we'll be back with spoilers. See you on the other side. And we're back with hot takes and spoilies for Wonder Woman 1984. Let's talk about who dies or who comes back from the dead. But first,
Real quick, buddy.
Mike.
Yep.
Yep. Well, Burdge, you talked to me off mic, off yourself. You had a little game questionnaire survey.
A little side segment.
Okay.
Which I'm calling 4 for me, 4 for you. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's 4 questions that I have for you about the movie that we're talking about, and then 4 questions that I just have for you as a person that I think you're the best person that I know to answer these.
Perfect.
So if you will, and these can be very quick, and we can get to the big stuff that we really want to talk about. I tried to keep them very simple and very direct. Now that we're in spoilers, this obviously is part of that. Some of the questions are going to be about things that are going on, so we are officially in spoiler territory. So here we go. Starts off with questions for me, which is about Wonder Woman, and then every other one there'll be a question for you. So question number 1, I have them written down here. Why does Steve have to be in another person's body to come back? This is what you think.
Trying to understand, this is what I thought during the movie is that his body exploded. So he did mention that he went to somewhere that he thought was good, but he didn't really remember where. So I'm assuming that he is in some kind of spirit form. So he was only able to come back as a spirit. I don't know why, given that this movie and given that the stone can literally break the boundaries of reality, why he couldn't just bring him back normal style. But, again, needlessly complicated.
Great. Okay, good. And we'll talk about that more soon because that's something I want to fucking talk about. Question number 2, question for you.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm okay. I am working a lot at the coffee shop gig I picked up while the theater's been closed, and it's actually not so bad. I kind of like it. It's nice to be doing something that feels familiar in a time where things are so uncertain. And I recently have been changing my facial hair setup, and I actually really dig it. I think I'm going to keep it around for a while.
I mean, you do look good.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, question 3. Do planes on display at museums function and also have enough fuel to travel across the fucking ocean?
No.
Okay.
And and the fact that she just flashes her badge they're at the Smithsonian, right?
No,
is one of the
no, they're sure.
Like, where are they? That's one of the craziest scenes in the movie.
Well, okay.
It only gets crazier.
Okay. Question 4. Is it Evangelion or Evangelion or neither?
Evangelion.
Okay, thank you. Question 5. Number 5. What are the rules of operating the wishing stone and by nature Maxwell's abilities after their union?
To my understanding, the rules of the wishing stone is a monkey's paw, as the movie tells you. The way that it works is that you have to be touching the stone, and you have to either think or verbalize the wish that you want, and then you have to be prepared to make some sacrifice for it to come to pass. And but you also can renounce your wish, which no one. But it can't be just you regret it. You have to just say I renounce it. So that, to me, that's how the rules work. Did I answer the full question, or
technically, yeah?
Okay.
Next question. What's your favorite thing you ate this past week?
Past week. I make something else that was good? I think, I think it's this. So I made a coleslaw for. I'm a vegetarian, kind of pescatarian, kind of.
It's nice that you work that in there. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I like to have fish, but for the most part, vegetarian. And I made Beyond Burgers on Ezekiel bread, just with a little bit of cheese on there. But I also made a Brussels sprout coleslaw that was shredded grated Brussels sprouts, grated green apples, carrots, cabbage, and I used honey mustard and what else did I put in there? I think that was it. Yeah, so it was kind of like a spicy mustard sprout and apple slaw that I put on there as well, and that actually came out really good. I would change the recipe a little bit next time, and maybe kind of chop the sprouts a little bit longer, and maybe instead of like grating, like cut them instead of grating them. I think because I think that make the texture a little bit better. But I thought it came out good, and it tasted really good on the burger as well.
That's good. That sounds delicious.
Thank you.
Question 7. Why would a White House helicopter bring Maxwell Lord to the random woods his son is hiding in after he just very publicly almost destroyed the entire world?
I don't know.
Do you want me to repeat? You got it? Oh, okay. Don't know. Okay. Question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I don't know. Did the helicopter take him, or did he just run out there?
Nope, the helicopter took him.
I remember that he just...
The helicopter took him, and then the helicopter takes off,
know.
which means somebody was flying it.
Which also, like, how does he know where his son even is?
Well... And question,
not to jump ahead.
Question 8, last question. What video games are you playing these days?
Great question. I am playing... it's a long answer because I'm a gamer, so I play many games.
Let's try and keep it fucking short, will we?
I was playing some Fortnite recently. That was a lot of fun, but my main squeeze has been a game called Hades, which a lot of people are saying is the game of the year. It's the game of the year for many outlets. It is not my game of the year, but it's very good, and it is a game about the son of Hades trying to escape hell. And it's a roguelike, which means you can get to a certain point, but when you die, you have to restart. But the kind of twist about this game that makes it different from other roguelikes is that when you do die, you go back to like kind of the beginning of hell, which is almost kind of like a waiting room of sorts, and you get to interact and talk to all of these really interesting characters, and they'll comment on like, oh, the Hydra got you again, huh? And they actually like they know what killed you in the world, so like you have all these really meaningful conversations, and the game is very much about building these conversations as well as trying to escape hell. So there's really good character work. The gameplay is magnificent, and the visually it's a treat. And then the other game I'm playing is Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is a Metroidvania style game, which is incredibly beautiful and a ton of fun. And both are really strong games narratively. Highly recommend them.
Love them. Sounds great. Hades is also a Broadway play, is it not?
Is it? I wouldn't know.
Well,
I believe it.
All right, that's it. That's it for my segment. That was 4 for me, 4 for you, and it's probably the only time we're ever going to do it.
I don't know. I liked it. I kind of want to... I think every time I have you on...
It's good, yeah.
I liked it. Every time we have you on, Mike, I want to do it. That's going to be
you get a chance to talk about yourself a little bit. No, I'm into that.
It's nice. Yeah,
there's a little Mike Burdge in all of us.
Or if you want me to do one for you.
Oh, true. We can
not now because I'm not prepared, but we can switch it up like that.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get the next 4 for 4.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Cool. So now we are in spoilies. I think Mike was very smart to start off this segment with that because there's some interesting questions he posited during it. So now that we're in spoilies, and now we can talk more specifically about not only what was insanely confusing about the movie, but also there are some things that I think work in the movie, and I think you might have a better voice to kind of jump into that. So why don't you tell me about some of the things that really worked for you in the film? Let's start off positive before we surely get off the rails.
I mean, I really like stuff we were talking about before, only to be more specific, like the goofy stuff that they're doing in this is just like a lot of fun. Like this is a movie about a wishing rock that a guy like morphs into his body, and then that's how the character Maxwell Lord in the comics is a character whose like superpower is essentially he is extremely what's a good word for it? He's very coercive. He can talk you into anything. And so
he's a smooth talker, silver tongue kind of.
Exactly. He's a businessman. He's very much kind of like, that kind of 80s yuppie Wall Street, tycoon type dude. But his superpower is he can seemingly convince anyone of anything and talk them into anything. And this movie's answer to like what those origins come from is that combining him with, a wishing stone makes it so that he is in control of the monkey's paw isms of the wish, which I thought is really cool. I like that. It's very... Have you ever seen the horror series Wishmaster?
I have not.
Wishmaster is about an evil genie who gets released, and anyone who asks a wish, he monkey paws it and gives them their wish, but in like a bad way. There's a great scene in Wishmaster 2, which I, to this day, in certain circles, hold up as one of the greatest films ever dedicated to celluloid, in which a prisoner wishes that his lawyer would go fuck himself. And we have a scene that is exactly what you think it is right now. That what just went through your head is we have a scene with a lawyer talking to the prisoner, and the lawyer ends up getting thrown onto the table by some unknown force, his torso twisting around behind him, and then his legs up in the air backwards, thrusting back and forth while he emotes facially. It is funny. It is very funny. You are correct.
There's a scene in Preacher that's very not. I don't know if it happens in the show, but in Preacher, the graphic novel, there's a scene that's very simple because the titular preacher is empowered by the voice of God, so he can tell whatever he tells you to do, you just have to do it. And he does have a scene where he tells someone to fuck themselves, and it's very similar, which I think is
very great.
What came first?
Yeah. Yes. But so he's a Wishmaster type thing where it's like he gets to choose what the twist is, and Maxwell Lord being a very selfish guy, because I think one of the things that this movie is trying to really talk about is the selfishness and of humankind of human nature. That's how he's able to kind of twist wishes into what he wants, and he does it in multiple ways. Like he'll tell somebody like, "Wouldn't you wish this?" because it's actually what he wants. And then but if it's something else that like he doesn't really want, but he's like, "What do you want? I'll give it to you." Then he twists it so that, he's like, "What do you want? Okay, I'll the whole Palestine thing. I don't know. I don't want to get into it too deep right now, but like and then he's just like, "And now I have your guards," and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm a decent human being who understands the very delicate conversation that has been going on between Israel and Palestine for the past 40 years. Like, I understand what that is. And maybe don't put it in your superhero movie, you fucking psychopaths. I don't know.
Maybe.
But that's one of the things that I really dig is how they work in this really kind of, B-list comic book villain, his powers into it. Like it's nifty that way. But it is also emblematic of the issues that the movie has, because everything else that's happening around it, all of the other rules don't make sense. And then they start adding rules, like you were stating before, like the, like I renounce my wish, and he has to be touching people, but then it's like satellites doing stuff, and it's like they reach out and touch you, and it's like that doesn't make any sense.
There's a line where they explain the particles from the satellites, and he's like, so the particles are touching everyone, and the president's just like, in a way. And I was like, that shouldn't be good enough.
I was waiting for it to not work, because I was like, that's not going to work, right?
It's stupid. It's stupid. I mean, is it any stupider than anything
And then
else
he like stands up like in this gigantic like force field thing. Which
the Zordon tube.
What is that? What is he standing in?
I have no fucking idea.
Don't get me wrong. It looks cool, but I have no idea what it is.
How do you feel about his...
Bring it on. Come on.
How do you feel about his evil level? How do you feel about his evil level? Like his evil characterization as the big dog villain in this movie. How do you... Because I feel like I needed to dislike him more.
Okay.
Because during the movie, it's like is he kind of like shitty? It's like, yeah, he seems like a not great guy. He's a swindler. But they established very early on that he has this son that he loves. And he's very selfish, but I just feel like he's not all that. I don't know. I feel like he's not all that. He wasn't so dastardly that I wrote him off like too immediately. Mm-hmm. And he didn't feel like a big bad to me, which is, again, maybe that's the point. Again, because I think Patty Jenkins is trying to do superhero but different, genre wise. But how do you feel about his like evil levels? Is he, or did his dastardly deeds kind of like meet your expectation or make him see him that way?
I think that there are two things that are going on that are of interest, one positive, one negative. I think that Patty Jenkins' deliberate choice, and she's gone on the record and said like she didn't want the bad guys at the end of this movie to die. She wants Wonder Woman to be someone who can talk through issues rather than fight them off. And I like that. And I think that characterizing Maxwell Lord in the way that they do is very good going towards that, because and the same with Barbara. It's like you're giving these people something in their characters, or rather you are giving these characters something in their character motivations that can be seen as a little uncouth, and they start getting, a little bit hypnotized by the powers that they're getting, and they take a wrong turn somewhere, but there's an ultimate redemption that is believable and attainable and realistic. So that makes sense, and I like that. That's one of the things that I like about the movie, is that she is trying to do that. However, you're also very clearly making this a Donald Trump anagram.
Sure.
And does he go to the certain extent? Is this something that makes the movie worse? No, there's loads of other stuff to do that. But there is something to making him. Do I think that he is a direct like representation of people like Donald Trump? Absolutely not. But there's like choices in the hair and stuff like that, which is all stuff that I really like. Maxwell Lord is one of my favorite characters in the movie, if not my favorite one. Pedro Pascal, I think, is just an on fire in this moment, running on all cylinders, engine of an actor that can really do anything that you want him to do. And I think that given his ethnicity as a human being and the choices that they have made in it are insanely inspiring. That he is someone who, because of his upbringing, has always felt that he is less than, but believes that he is worth everything, that he can do anything as long as he puts his mind to it, and he keeps trying, and he's figured out this way that he can cheat the system like everyone else's skin color has allowed them to cheat it. I think that is an insane thing to have in a superhero movie. I love that he dyes his hair, and he dresses in a way that he thinks is going to make everybody appreciate him more. He loves his son very much, but is putting his work first. And I'll just drop it right here. My favorite part of the movie, which is one of my favorite which is my favorite moment of 2020, is when we are given the brief flashback of Maxwell Lord. And we see him growing up, getting hit by his dad, having an abusive parent, and, kind of getting his heart broken. But there's a little moment where he's in this, like, really shitty, like, apartment or office complex, and he's set up his black gold sign, and he has a little table out there, and he's, like fixing his tie, and he fixes a piece of candy in the bowl because he's, like, really excited to start this business that he's trying to do. And I think it's one of the I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about it. I think it's one of the best uses of that kind of third act twist to remind everybody that this character is a person, and that the reason that they're doing things is because of things that were done to them and things that they've done. And that even this guy who's about to destroy the world in this really horrible, selfish way, completely just like blind to like the bad stuff that he's doing, started off trying to build something good and be a good person and fulfill the American dream, to the point where he was like so proud of what he was doing that he's aligning the candy in the bowl that he's offering to the first people that are coming. I think it's an insanely sweet moment, and it fucking hit me just as hard as like, the last 15 seconds of Soul did. And it's I absolutely love it. And so to go back to answering your question, I think
he's evil enough.
He's evil,
or he's at the appropriate
it's
level.
what he's trying to do is understandable. Some of the things that the movie decides to make him do, again, unneedingly, you don't need to make him go over to Israel and do that. He can do something like that somewhere else.
Anything
else is understandable, and that's what makes it at the end when he just gives it up and runs away. You're like, okay, that man should be arrested, and he most likely will. And that's why stuff that follows doesn't make any sense, like why the helicopter would fly him there, how he knew his son was there. It's all these things. Like, I think the big moments in this movie can work if you give them enough of a leeway, but no audience member is guaranteed to do that. Yeah.
There's such huge asks of suspension of disbelief in this superhero movie. And again, like, there are times where someone's just like, yo, but how did this happen? And I am the first one to be like, bro, don't fucking think about it that hard. It's a this kind of movie. It's a Star Wars. It's a Marvel.
It's like it's not the point kind of thing. Yeah.
In this movie, it is like, it's criminal, the shit that they're just like, I don't fucking think about that. And I think one of the funniest ones is the plane sequence. Because it's like a domino effect of like, and not to jump too quickly from your Max Lord.
I mean, if you want to say something on, I pretty much just gave my all on that because that was the thing that I was really going for. I apologize for talking for five straight minutes.
It's not so much that I want to add to it. I just think that you're correct, and I think that's cool. And I think that it's always a good skill set you have to be able to kind of cut through a lot of what the film's bullshit is to actually find, like, that I would say that's a gem, right? That's a diamond in the rough for this genie character in the movie, and it really works. One of the most insane things the movie asks you to believe is the sequence where Gal Gadot and
Diana Prince, yes,
Diana Prince and the possessed body that is possessed by Steve, what's his face?
Steve and Trevor, yeah.
They take a car
to
a museum where she flashes her museum. It's not her museum that they go to.
No, I don't think so. It could be, and it still wouldn't make any fucking sense, but sure.
Does. She flashes her I work in museums badge. Mm-hmm. They let her in.
Yes.
Then...
No, hold on. Wait.
Hold on. No, they let her in.
No. Yes, they do. But I want to retract what I just said. I thought it was a really funny joke. Whether she works there or not, I do believe that there is a 1984 Washington, D.C. museum club. And I do think that if she showed up and she was like, yo, all the museums in DC are probably like in the same group, and it's like, I have a friend that I want to show this, can I? And they're like, yeah, sure, go on, it's closed anyway. I think that's fine. Okay.
She gets let in.
Okay.
There's a bunch of airplanes on display.
Yes, there are.
Even the one that Steve really either he didn't fly because he blew it up, I guess. But one that he's just like, oh, I remember this one from when I was alive. I'm a zombie. And then they find a fighter jet. They get into it. Mm. He almost immediately knows how to fly it, despite there being 40 years of developed airplane technology that has happened.
Excuse me. 70 years.
70 years. Oh yeah, this is not World War II. It's World War I.
Oh yeah.
70 years of developed airplane tech that has happened.
He's a good pilot though, so sure.
Then they start flying the plane.
Yes.
And despite being allowed to get this far, someone who let the horse into the hospital is just like, we gotta get this thing out of here. They're like, oh my god, someone's flying an airplane, which is not allowed. And I guess this is the difference. Is it's not the museum people who are mad about the airplane leaving. It is people at air traffic control station that are upset about it. So I'll give them that.
They are upset.
So then they're flying the plane.
Yeah.
And they're just like, fuck, I forgot radar exists. I know radar exists. I forgot in the heat of the moment. I forgot that radar exists.
As you do.
As you do. So then, Diana Prince pulling an ace out of her sleeve.
Almost literally.
She's doing some thing with her hand, and there's some wiggling magic happening.
She's creating a spirit bomb, a Kamehameha. Yep.
A Kamehameha, and then she's like, I'm gonna make the airplane invisible.
That is what she says.
An ability that she explains away as, well, my father, a character that is like, you have a what? Because I don't know how that operates in the world of Amazon.
Yeah, I was led to believe that the way that that they're like that, like men gods come down and
they just have an orgy,
and they bed some of the Amazonians. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, that's a subject that I feel kind of iffy getting into as who I am. So I'm just kind of like, okay, sure, yeah. It's an island full of women, of course.
I'm less trying to understand the logistics of how women on Amazonia get busy, but more trying to understand the logistics of, she knows who her father is. She knows this invisibility trick that he did. It was to make a cup disappear. Surely it will work on a plane. She's never done it before, but she's just like, well, now seems to be a good time. Despite her being, at this point in the movie, having her powers diminishing, she does probably the craziest thing a superpowered being could do in this moment.
Yep.
And she makes the airplane disappear.
And she does say, she's like, oh, I can't do it all the time. Like, this is like saved up power kind of thing, right? Like,
I don't think she says that.
Well, she should have.
Does she say that?
And my main...
So obviously it's a callback.
I want to just real quick.
Please.
A superhero whose entire point is that she's been around for 70 years, staying out of the limelight, not getting pictures taken of her because it's already been made canon in Justice League that
yes,
she has never been... They don't know that she exists. She's like this kind of... She's just like this Blair Witch project. She's like a spaghetti. Like, you don't know like who she is.
She's like a spaghetti.
So she can't be seen. Did you hear what I just said right there?
Yeah.
Someone who has the ability to make anything that they want invisible, who's been around for 70 years and has absolutely zero connections to anybody, and is just kind of really pissed off that every time they try to do good, they have to break down cameras and everything in this new high-tech 1980s. Why didn't you fucking do that to a suit? Oh, you might ask. She doesn't have a suit to do it to. Yes, she does. It shows up in the third act of this movie out of fucking nowhere. Just make that suit invisible.
There's the Chekhov's golden suit in the first act, or when we go to her apartment, and she's just like, oh, but yeah, my mother's suit. Which I don't know how she actually got it.
She got it on eBay. I was going to make that a question for you, but then I was just like, she just got it. Fuck it. I don't care about that.
Yeah. That could be the least.
She got it.
Whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get it. She got it. Yeah. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
Fine.
Honestly, I'd rather it just show up in her office in a single line of dialogue than them explain to me for 3 minutes how
trying to tell me where the fuck that thing came from. So that's, I like the fireworks part of the scene because it looks really cool. I like that it's a callback to her invisible jet. It's the crazy, and then you want to talk about Gal Gadot's like wooden acting at times.
Limitations as an actor, yes.
That scene is crazy talk.
Yeah.
That's some crazy gibberish insanity happening there.
Ironically,
did you lose your mind watching it? I was losing my mind.
Coincidentally, ironically was not the word that I wanted to use. Coincidentally, I just remembered that I was on the Wonder Woman Hot Takes episode with Jack last year, and that was a very fun podcast because we just watched a great movie in a almost packed house theater where we were like 2 of maybe 8 men in a room of like 350 people. It was very cool.
Rock on.
And on that, I had said Gal Gadot is really good in this performance, except in this one scene. And it's a scene that's very similar to, and I might be misremembering this, and people that listen who care enough to check can correct me. I doubt they will. I think I am correct in saying that, like, the scene in the boat, like after they've like first kind of like escaped the island, there's a scene in a boat where it's just like the two of them just kind of continuing their meat cutiness.
Yes.
And that is the scene where it requires the most kind of just like dialogue transference between actor and actor in the entire movie, whether it be Wonder Woman and someone else. It's just, that is just a very dialogue heavy scene. And I remember being like, in that scene, it's like Gal Gadot just kind of doing her thing where she's like, oh, the world is just like this twisted place. And I just thought that, you know, like the waves of the ocean, things would come and things would go back. Like saying like actual things, poetry to people. And you're just kind of like, But it makes sense because like she's supposed to be like an otherworldly type of person. And in this, she's been living in, you know, America, I'd imagine, for like 70 years.
Yeah, she knows how to be a person at this point.
You know.
You'd think.
So, yes.
So yes,
her talking, having just a straight up dialogue with Steve Trevor in this plane for about 3 minutes while fireworks are going off. Did you know it was 4th of July before that scene, by the way?
No, and then the movie ends and it's Christmas.
Well, it jumps ahead a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm doing a quick thing right now. I didn't know that,
and then she was like, I didn't know there was radar, and it's 4th of July.
It's 4th of July. The time to not be in the sky. Although I guess it might be good for them because it's a holiday, so some people might be off. I'm going to do a quick thing real quick here, which might be really stupid, but I really just want to check and see what the weather was like in July 1984 in Washington. Looks like it was pretty much between, lows of 70. Okay, lows of 70 and highs of 88. Okay. So at one point she gives a homeless guy some food and says to keep warm. In a season that is going, the lows are 70. Yeah,
the whole movie's winter time.
People are wearing coats and fur coats and yeah. I do not care about this as far as the movie. If the movie had no problems, I would bring this up as just a fun thing, and the movie would still be great. I'm just saying that. When she said it was 4th of July, I was like, wait a minute. Hasn't it been like Christmas the whole time? I thought this was like Christmas.
God, fuck.
I think that there might be stuff in the mall, maybe, now that I'm trying to think about it, because I rewatched the mall scene.
I thought it was like Christmas time, though, in the mall.
I thought it was Christmas time in the mall, too. I don't know.
The scene where she winks at the camera, also, that scene's crazy, too.
Okay.
It's like,
all right, we're doing it. Okay.
Who are these people?
Yeah. I like the idea of like Batman style, like wham, bam, bang thugs. Like, we're just goons stealing this thing. Like
I kind of like it too. It's just such whiplash, and also okay. I mean, so this is like this is like the second scene in the movie.
Jeez
right?
Louise. Okay.
This is like now we see where Wonder Woman is up to.
Yeah.
The first scene of the movie of her doing the triathlon and then very reasonably taking. I was like, yeah, you take the shortcut. You're like 7 fucking years old, and your horse ran away. You're not cheating. There's a slide. Just fucking take it. And then and that scene is 12 minutes long.
Yep.
And it's supposed to be teaching us what the moral of the movie
yes.
is.
Well, it's teaching us what one of the morals of the movie is.
Which is to not take shortcuts?
Yes. That is very clearly from a screenwriter's standpoint.
Yeah.
Which me and you have studied screenwriting. This is an opening scene in a movie. It's not. It doesn't end with the rising action or the climax. This is outside of that. 15 minutes from now, that
it's
will
not
happen.
the inciting incident, though.
This is a stage setting. So, the whole rule for our listeners, like on page 15, that's when your inciting incident happens. If you have a scene like this, that pushes that up because this is setting the tone of the theme. And then 15 minutes after this ends, that's when the inciting incident happens, which is when the wishing stone monkey's paw is introduced. That's the inciting incident.
That's the inciting incident, yes.
This suggests that the movie is going to be about Diana herself needs to learn that you can't take shortcuts. Now, does this... Yeah. No. Diana wishing on a rock that her boyfriend would come back is not a shortcut.
No,
there are no shortcuts to miracles. They just happen. If you want the miracle,
overall theme of the movie, the movie returns to this idea with everyone else.
It does,
wishing
that there are no
certain things.
They're treating the idea that wishing for something because it can magically just happen is a shortcut.
Yes,
there are far more interesting ways to do that. Yes.
But what she does in that opening scene is not the same as. She's in a triathlon against people who are like 3 times her age.
Yeah, but
and she's good and she's fine.
I get it. She should have stayed on the track. That's how triathlons work. You can't take a shortcut.
But if she was still on her horse, and then saw the shortcut, and then jumped off her horse to take the shortcut, doesn't that make a little bit more sense as to why it's like, well, you had it in you to win. You were going to win.
Well, and
all you had to do is keep going.
They're definitely proposing the idea that, she fucked up and is now not on her horse, so she takes this shortcut that thinks it will help her out, and it doesn't, just in the same way that, she fucked up back in 1917 and she got her boyfriend killed, and now she just kind of wished because she was holding a rock that oh boy, I still wish I had my boyfriend, and now he's back, and it's just no, you got to get rid of that because it makes you a bad person that you wished for that. And it's wait, it doesn't, hold on. It's
why
it's the movie. The movie is trying to talk about selfishness again, which is one of the things that I think is very interesting about it. It's talking about selfishness from the point of view of these 3 characters, Diana, Barbara, and Maxwell. And I love that they are positioning them in ways that, sure, we've seen before. Maxwell Lord is this kind of Wall Street type, Charlie Sheen type character that we've seen before. Barbara is, like we said, a lot like Selena Kyle. And, and Diana in this movie is doing the same thing that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man did in Spider-Man 2, that Christopher Reeve Superman did in Superman 2. We've seen these things before, and they're trying to build them all together into these ideas of selfishness. First off, Spider-Man 2 already did this perfectly. Leave selfishness alone in superhero movies for another 20 years. He did it perfect. You're not going to do it better than that. Calm the fuck down.
Well, it has been 20 years.
No, 20 more years from now. From now. Give it
25.
This movie doesn't need to be The Matrix. Yes. It needs to be fucking Indiana Jones. You wait 40 years until this thing is good to go.
Yeah, because the other characters, I guess what the movie's trying to say is that when she realizes that she will not be powered enough, again, she won't be powerful enough to stop any of this stuff. A thing that she doesn't ultimately need to do any of the things she does by the end of the movie, which is not a lesson, I think.
No, it's
okay because she doesn't because she defeats the villain of the movie not with her powers,
just by talking to him. Yes,
just by talking to him,
which is cool.
Which is cool, but she didn't need her powers to do it.
Yes.
Did she need her powers to fight
Cheetah? Yes.
The Cheetah Girls?
Yes. The Cheetah Girls? Yes.
The Cheetah Girls? I it seemed like she probably needed. Also that
Come on.
I'm jumping around.
Come on.
That scene where she zaps the Cheetah Girl.
Or where she drowns her in electrocuting water?
It kills her, and I was just like, did they just I was the shocked Pikachu meme. I was like, did they just kill this chick?
It's pretty intense what they do.
And then she comes back, which is like, oh, okay.
I was the shocked Pikachu meme when Gal Gadot like has sex with this guy.
Yeah.
With Chris Pine. Like, I'm like, they're gonna explain this by the end, right? Because this is not cool. Like, I was not totally cool.
I was not totally convinced that Chris Pine was. I thought the guy turned into Chris Pine. And then he was looking at himself in the mirror post coitus, and he's like, "Yeah, I look like this fucking guy." And I was like, "Oh, that's really weird."
It's an extremely weird thing.
And it's like weird
that they don't need to do.
The hostman.
Everything that we're about to talk about for the next, like, at least 3 minutes. I want to devote at least 3 minutes to this.
Please.
Everything we're about to talk about, no matter how ridiculous or crazy it might sound, did not need to be a thing to be discussed by just making him come back. Just make him come back. Everything else in the movie operates the exact same way. No one knows who Steve Trevor is. No one would recognize him. No one would give a shit. And the same thing ends with him just being like, "You gotta let me go, dude. Like, I gotta go, okay?"
Yeah, they do like some weird Full Metal Alchemist rules where it's just like, "Oh, you need the material," or like, "I don't fucking know, even exchange."
Is this guy? Does he have a job? Does he have a girlfriend? Who is his family?
He's an engineer.
Oh. Well, guess what? He just lost his fucking job because he didn't show up to work for a week straight. Name me an engineer that can not show up to work for a week in 1984.
If you're really, I mean, if
and
you're
wouldn't
really
lose
good
his job, huh? I know a couple engineers. I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, if you didn't show up,
if you weren't possessed, he's possessed in the movie,
and she is physically the act of sex is a physical act. The things that make it so special are the emotions that are involved with that. So yes, she is making love to Chris Pine. She is having sex with this man who is unaware that listen, we are not the two people that talk about this type of shit happening in movies in this specific way. But it is fucking weird that they would, again, choose to do this when they didn't have to. They didn't have to do it. Or were they like, well, they gotta fuck somewhere. What are they gonna do? Just go back to her apartment? Yes. Just have them go back to her apartment.
Yeah. Why doesn't I thought the watch was going to like.
Oh God.
There's so many different ways it could have brought him back.
It's one of the
one of them could have just been he poofs in.
That's all you have to do. Do you remember that moment where they in absolutely zero aggressive ways just like pop a wall into existence between Israel and Palestine? Do you remember when they do that?
Well, there's ground there first, so they use ground to up.
Fine, use the watch like you just said. That's a perfect example.
Yeah,
the watch is like shown there, and it's like, oh, he just grows out of the watch.
Have the watch reverse, like go back in time, and then it kind of, and then he starts to come like,
and then maybe he's got like some weird, like, you know, no pun intended, ticks from the watch, where it's like he kind of he was built from the watch, so every now and then he's just like, it's 12 o'clock, and she's like, what? And he's like, sorry. Yeah, just do shit like that.
I like that movie already. Yeah, whatever. Like any fucking thing. I don't know. It's crazy. And the mall
we've been in the I don't know what the fuck is this stage in this podcast for a while. We haven't been in one of these in a bit.
It's a fun place to be, but it is, you know, we might be drunk off the insanity of the movie.
It's a wild movie, but I do still like a lot of the goofy shit that they do. One last note on the Steve Trevor being in an innocent man's body. They're trying to. I will believe them when they say that they were trying to make a play on like the body swap comedy of the 80s.
I think that's what other people are positing, or that's what people are gifting the movie. People who enjoy
body swap movies have been around since before the 80s. Were they big in the 80s? I would argue they weren't bigger than they were in the 90s. So
this ain't a swap.
This is, and it's also not a body swap. You never see.
It's a possession.
Like we know from the ending that he, and I swear to God, we will stop talking about.
Why didn't they make him a pilot?
Talking about
Why
this in a
didn't they
minute.
make him a
We'll
pilot?
stop talking about this in 1 minute.
Why does he have to be an engineer? Make him a pilot.
He obviously doesn't remember Diana because he shows up at the end when the movie turns into a scene from Love Actually for like 2 minutes.
The insane outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means that he's not like get outed. It's not like he's like in a void watching what this guy's doing. He's literally just turned off.
He's asleep.
That is such a
fucked up,
a dark thing to put in your lighthearted, goofy movie about 80s American selfishness. That again, you did not need to put in there.
No. I didn't ask for that shit.
Nobody wanted it.
I didn't ask for that shit. I don't want that.
Diana.
Get that shit out of here.
Diana, it's me.
What?
What are you fucking talking about?
What are you fucking talking about, you insane? And then she just knows. And then the movie uses the device of like, oh, well, because she knows. Now we, the audience, sees him as Chris Pine.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
What else you got, man?
Do you think... We're wrapping up, I promise. Do you think if the movie leaned more into like this... Do you think if the movie leaned more into either direction... I'm not even sure there's a tug of war happening here, as I often say about movies that are a little hard to identify genre-wise, but do you think if this movie at least leaned even harder into its like 80s nostalgia, do you think it would have had more of a fighting chance? Or, I mean, I think realistically, I think the thing we keep coming back to is the movie just needs to be kind of streamlined, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I
honestly, I'd be more interested in what you had to say about that before. Like, I have a weird thing with nostalgia. I wrote that piece on nostalgia where I was like, I think using nostalgia in movies is absolutely fine. I think it's the exact same thing as like using the military. Like you're presenting in this idea where it's like, well, we all know what the military is, right? So just use that. It's like, but the military in movies is different, just as 80s is different in movies than it was in real life, you know?
I mean, I don't have a problem using anything in movies as long as it's done well.
Right.
Like I watch a movie to see what the quality of it is, and sometimes I like the movie despite the quality not being there. This is not one of them.
Yeah. I think actually, now like you just kind of made me realize like the movie isn't really focused in on the 80s because of the nostalgia factor. I think it's because of like the Reaganomics of the whole thing. The early 80s were like the prime of American selfishness. It was like. It was just like the bloat of our materialism.
Sure, the capitalistic, you know, yeah.
And then you show the president and you don't make him Ronald Reagan and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
That was fucking weird.
I guess he's Reagan-esque, so, you know, you don't have to...
He's white.
You don't
I don't
have
fucking
to
know.
make
He's a
him,
white guy.
Yeah.
Is he Reagan-esque?
I don't...
It's weird that he's not just Ronald Reagan.
Because he's not.
Given
he's
everything
not
else
Ronald
in the movie.
Reagan.
No, he's this ginger little fuckboy.
Because I'm watching the movie, and me as like a 34-year-old boy, I'm like, we're in 1984, and they're talking about the president. Oh, they're talking about Ronald Reagan, right? And then they go to see it, and I'm like, that's not supposed to be Ronald Reagan, is it?
Not even a little bit.
I don't think so.
And I get like, you know, it gets confusing only because the movie invites the movie that's like, oh, this takes place in the 80s. Yeah. It's about the 80s.
The DC 80s.
And then you see this character who was the president in the 80s, and it's not Ronald Reagan. So it's like...
Which, I mean, like, that's another thing that superhero movies do all the time, which is, like, they're just like, you know, William Sadler is the president in Iron Man 3, and I'm here for it.
But it's like because they... And I'm here for that, too, but it's because it takes place in the now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. That's a easier. It's the same thing, but the pill's a lot easier to swallow than when you're doing something that's like nostalgia fueled, or at least like it takes place in the nostalgia or not. It takes place in the past, and the movie is at least for a little bit kind of obsessed with 80s culture before it like kind of really just throws it away.
Yeah, you get a couple nods and fanny pack stuff, which in a better movie I would attribute to the positives. I'd be like, oh, it doesn't stick on the 80s stuff too much. That's cool.
when he's trying on the outfits, I like that. But yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I think it's weird that like the 80s scene of it is like, it's like barely set dressing. It's like there's the scene in the mall that's really weird and she winks at the camera. I thought that was all strange. Mm-hmm. And so she says shush to the girl for what reason?
Don't talk about me.
But everyone saw her do it.
It's her being like snitches get stitches. Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck.
She's like, don't fucking
whip you good.
say shit. Well, because this is the major issue that I was going to save to the end, and I'd imagine that this is.
I think
I'm looking around the room, and I think this is the end. We haven't
could talk about this movie for a long time.
We haven't posted a hot takes that's been longer than an hour and a half in a long time, and it's getting very close to that on this one. Yeah, with a movie that we really. But that's the thing. It's like when we like something, we're just like, this is why I like it. Isn't this cool? Oh yeah, that's great. I love it when movies do this. This is what makes it so special. Okay, well, it's very good to talk to you guys. Have a very good one. Bye. Bye. With a movie like this, you're just like, I've been waiting for this movie for like 2 years, and this is what I got? It just feels like taking it apart a little bit. And again, there's parts in this movie that I really like. But
it's just, we've seen blockbuster movies like this kind of hit for the most part. I mean, not this year because there's been none, right? So maybe we just kind of forgot.
I mean, that's the other thing to take into account is like, it's this and Tenet are like, the ones. Like, if you really want to count, like Birds of Prey and Birds of Prey and Sonic of the Hedgehog, Sonic of the Hedgehog,
Sonic of the Hedgehog. I mean, it's funny, like Tenet and Wonder Woman get brought up because like both movies are, I mean, at least in my opinion, like they're both like they're kind of messy. Tenet is a little bit messy because it's like it's way down. It's crushed under the weight of its own genius. This movie might be crushed under the weight of its own ambitions. I don't know.
I'd say that about both of them. I was just trying to. I think that the problem with both of them is that their scope of ambition is just like so high, but they're just like not. It's all at a script level. Like Tenet's main thing is like, I don't understand what's happening enough. I don't need to understand fully. I get that that's the point. I need to know a little bit, just a little tiny crumb more of what's going on to care about what's happening. And Wonder Woman.
Don't just tell me. Just don't tell me. I don't have another conversation explaining it. Just try to communicate another way.
Wonder Woman Wonder Woman 1984 rather as a movie is just doing a lot of things all at once, trying to piece them all together towards this theme that they're trying to go for, which is kind of rudimentary around selfishness. And I don't think it works because it's kind of just doing a little bit too much at once and trying to get their action stuff in there. Like you said, it's the perfect way to state it. This movie is trying to have its cake and eat it too. It's trying to be this bombastic superhero sequel with action scenes that is a sequel to a movie that is beloved with a character that is beloved, while also trying to do these really like fun, goofy caricatures of what superhero movies used to do 40 years ago, about how life was 40 years ago and maybe it's still like that today. And it's just not really linking up, No,
it's it's a weird little movie. It doesn't totally sync up. We didn't talk about Kristen Wiig at all. She's fine.
She's fine. Kristen Wiig is good. I think that she's much better in dramatic roles. Slightly dramatic roles that are slightly elevated by a comedic persona are kind of her go-to. That is not to say that I don't think that she's funny, but like I much prefer a Kristen Wiig Skeleton Twins than a Kristen Wiig, Adventureland, which are both movies that I love.
She doesn't need to be in this movie at all.
No,
you cut her out of this movie.
They need Diana to fight someone, and Maxwell Lord is not a fightable character. You have to have an action scene. Yeah, at the end, you have to.
Yeah, well, they gave us one. She murdered her. I wish. I can't get over that scene.
Well, she's not dead.
Yeah, what did you think? She's not dead. No, I know.
She survived.
It's She made it. No one dies despite getting electrocuted. Underwater, which would also electrocute Wonder Woman, but it's fine. What did you think of the post-credits scene with the OG WW?
Cool. Fine.
I thought it was cool too. Yeah. It was weird just because it's like, so...
I mean,
why doesn't your daughter know where you are?
It happens at like the worst possible moment, which is after I've watched Wonder Woman 1984. So I wasn't exactly in the best mood when I watched it, but I was like, oh, I can appreciate this. Yeah, that's nice. Cool. Linda Carter, great.
It's as cool. It's as cool as the Invisible Fighter Jet. All right. All right.
Wait. So
what you want? You got more?
I wanted to finish what I had started about like 8 minutes ago, but we went on a tangent.
My bad.
No, it's fine.
Did you want to talk about Star Wars instead?
No. We'll have plenty of time for that on every other podcast that we do. Every
other podcast,
we got more than enough to talk about with this. I was gonna say one of the main issues that this movie kind of has against it that really sucks, and it's not its fault. And honestly, it's not really a major issue, but I thought I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Is the way the DCEU has been like putting these movies out is really hard for some of these, has created a very specific challenge for a lot of these directors and storytellers to try to tell these certain stories, because when Wonder Woman came out, we had already seen Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman DOJ, BVS DOJ as we call it on this podcast. Yes. We had already seen her Wonder Woman. So then we go back to 1917, but we're not given a lot of Wonder Woman in BVS DOJ. So they're allowed to really do whatever they want with Wonder Woman back in 1917. Kind of in the same way, it's like when we first got Captain America, the first Avenger, we didn't know anything about Captain America. They could just build out whatever they want with Cap back in World War II and then spring them up. Then we got Justice League. And that showed us a lot more Diana. And I remember on our podcast when we did Justice League as part of Batarang, check it out, dear listener, that the Wonder Woman that was kind of like a monstrosity of Zack Snyder's intentions and Joss Whedon's pickups was completely different from the Wonder Woman that not only we saw in BVS DOJ, but the Wonder Woman, more importantly, that we saw in Patty Jenkins' 1917 movie. Now, 1917 gets swept aside. It's been 100 years. Totally get it. And BVS DOJ, we only saw her very briefly. She wasn't doing all that much. There's really no character there. So fine. So Justice League, Wonder Woman is how Diana is in 2020
now
in this DC universe, how she is coming so close with 1984 being only like under 40 years away from like what they're talking about in Justice League. The character is not allowed to do certain things because it wouldn't make sense to what the character's already done in these two movies that we've seen that take place 40 years from now. We know in BVS DOJ that there are no pictures of her. There are no images because Batman is the greatest detective in the world because he found a picture of her like with a bunch of Civil War people or something. I don't fucking know what the fuck's going on.
I don't fucking know. He found a Photoshop.
Yeah, he found like her like with the Howling Commandos or whatever. And DC is doing its own thing and in no way ripping off Marvel in any way. They've never even seen any Marvel movies. They have no idea. It just, I just feel like I wanted your thoughts on, as the DCEU is attempting to create this version of everything that they're doing and it's falling apart magnificently. And I don't mean that in a positive way. I just mean like it's all falling apart in a way that is very entertaining to watch, even if I really want good DC movies. I'm not rooting against DC. This is a shit show. The Ray Fisher stuff has hit the fan in both directions, and I don't even know who to believe anymore. But
Well, I mean, they're not working with either of them, so
it's fucking crazy. So it is interesting that we have these 2 installments of Wonder Woman, no matter how big or small they might be, that have happened in the past like 4 years timeline wise, and then we are getting these glimpses of her 40 years ago, and the movie seems to be trying to do certain things to keep up with that. She's destroying security cameras. She's going, shush, snitches get stitches to like even little girls.
I'll come back.
I will fucking find you. And I can do this to grown men. I'll snap you like a fucking twig. That's what that means, right? Like she's like, don't talk, don't say shit.
I'll break you like the cheetah girl.
Yeah, she's like like a character from Oz. Like she's just like the fucking put a spoon.
So what is the future for Wonder Woman? Maybe is that
more like
what's the future for the DCEU?
I'm interested in like what is your idea of like what's going on in the DCEU right now? Because obviously this movie was released understanding that they know where Wonder Woman's going to be in 40 years, and they seem to be trying to play along with that. But like also like, didn't she talk to everybody on the planet at the end of the movie? Like, didn't they all hear her voice? Like, isn't that the point of that?
They didn't see her face.
I get that, but wouldn't everybody be like, who was that woman?
Who inspired us?
That Wonder Woman.
I mean, it's such a cataclysm.
Is that why she's called Wonder Woman? Because they're like, I wonder who that woman was.
Who that woman is. I mean, she's wearing such a flashy costume for someone who's trying to be incognito, and I like the costume.
I like the costume too. It looks really good. I like the colors.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that WW84 was made with the DCU in mind. I think that had already fallen apart when this movie was in development. Because that's been kind of all fucked up for a while now. I think. We also know that Wonder Woman 3 and 4 are happening, which makes me think that they're going to work their way back to now times, and it basically will wipe away what we've seen of her in these other movies. I think Zack Snyder says he has no plans to make any more DC movies. Thank God.
Okay.
And we know that the Flash movie is going to be Flashpoint, which could be their gateway into explaining to the fans how multiple realities and dimensions work. That would be a very easy way to do it. It's also talking about bringing back Keaton, which is, I mean, I'm here for it. Yes, I don't fucking know. It's weird. It's a really weird thing to do.
They're just ripping off Marvel at every fucking turn. Oh, yeah. It is insane, man.
I mean, and it just sucks because, like, hear me out, man. What they did with Joker, a movie I don't fucking like, but what they did with Joker, I kind of wish they would just do with all of their properties, where it's like, you cannot chase the GOAT right now. The whole linked universe, expanded universe thing that's happening, you can't catch up. You fucked. Because you started running. They shot the gun at the starting line, and then you tripped like kind of instantly.
It's like the most popular kid at school shows up with this shirt that he got, and everybody likes this shirt, and everyone's talking about this shirt, and everyone's like, yo, your shirt is so cool, this is great. And he's like, oh, thanks, like I saw it and I thought it'd be really cool, I'm glad you guys all really like it. And then 3 days later, like one of like the weird kids in school like shows up with the shirt, and everyone's like, what are you doing? Like,
check this out.
What are you doing? And he's just like, oh, well, they had the shirt on, like, you like that, right? Like, you like extended universes and stuff. Like, I just got it.
Like
I just got it. And they're like, and everyone's like, no, that's not the point. It's like, he was the first to do it. That's what made it fun. And he's like, oh, well, what about like multiverse stuff? And like, I've been doing multiverse stuff on my TV shows for a while. Like, right? I could do that now. Like, no, but they did it like they're doing it in the, why are you doing that now? They just started doing that. And they're like, DCEU
really
is the shark's tale of Marvel's Finding Nemo. It's like, guys, you're fucking around and you're stealing shit. It's the ants of Bug's Life. It's like, you guys are stealing their shit. Just calm down. Do your own thing.
And I think they could do their, and again, like something, and I really don't like, I've said it before, I don't like the Joker movie, but like what it's doing in the big picture of what DC could do with their properties, I am into.
100% agree. On both accounts.
That. Like, just, yes. It's like, you have access to all of these intellectual properties. Why not just make these one-off kick-ass movies that can just exist on their own, and then make it fun when you recast a Batman for your Green Lantern movie, when you recast a Batman, like, just do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because a lot of people put so much weight on the casting of these characters, and because there's something to be said about making it like this person's the face of this character. Like, we're getting Robert Pattinson, and I'm really into that, but there was a time where it made more sense to put all your eggs in a basket. It's like, Ben Affleck's the Batman for the next 5 or 10 years, and it makes sense to like have the face. We've had Tom Holland as Spider-Man for like a really long time now, and for a lot of people, he's Spider-Man, you know. But we've also kind of seen cracks in that logic as well, where with things like multiverse movies and stuff like that, where they're like, well, everyone really loves Tom Holland Spider-Man, but now a lot of people are having nostalgia for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and want to see some of these characters see each other again. So, you know, for me, like, it's not so sacred, you know, where I'm like, yeah, I'll take a million different Batmans. I don't really fucking care. But I think that I wish that the DC films going forward will try to do more one-off, like, you know, their franchises are not connected to anything. We're telling our own story. And I think it'd be cool. Like, tell a Batman movie with Robert Pattinson and just make it, that's the Batman series. And then have a Green Lantern movie, and that's the Green Lantern movies. It's just hard when you have things like Justice Leagues, and in the comic books, these characters communicate a lot. Even in Batman Metals, like, they're all hanging out, you know? Like, it's the comic books that these properties are based off of, all these characters, typically they hang, you know? Like, they chill, and I don't really know. It's such a mess, because if they just copied it correctly, then we'd be kind of in a cool place with it, I guess, you know. But they did a kind of a piss poor job, and they bet on the wrong horse, you know. Some people don't feel that way, and those people are entitled to their opinion. But yeah, I think what they're going to do, I think Flashpoint is the next movie that will make the idea of having standalone one-off superhero movies in the DC canon more palatable to some fans. Because it validates the Snyder guys, and it validates people like me who don't really, who's like, you can give me whatever I want, but I'm kind of like confused when you do things like in this Wonder Woman movie that's kind of counterintuitive to what you've presented to us with the same actress in the other movies. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think no matter what, though, it's just kind of a fucking mess. And again, you have to respect Marvel and Disney for just making something that just fucking makes sense. It's such a well-oiled machine with so few cogs out of whack. Like, they're coming out with this WandaVision show with these two obscure characters who aren't really all that obscure. They feel like main characters, and they don't even have that much screen time. That's incredible. That's crazy. And it's Vision and Scarlet Witch. Like that, like, you cannot look at that and not say that's impressive, and not kind of like praise it a little bit, you know? Where DC can barely fucking get us to watch a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
And that's, you know,
that they just put out there for free.
Yeah, you know, like that's just kind of it. And again, we see Marvel really trying to reinvent the wheel the more it goes. That new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, I bet you it's gonna kick ass. I bet it's gonna be a Batman movie.
Yeah.
That new
like, they don't have to be linked up to all this
fuck
bullshit.
That is.
They don't need it. They don't need it.
Yeah. And that's fine. And yeah, and it's like, if it's just gonna be a Batman movie, it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of refreshing at this point. So, you know, we'll see. And I think, you know, with the Marvel stuff, all those characters just communicate with each other so well that I'm like here for it. And, you know, there was a long time where I had that criticism, especially when the movie like Logan would come out, where it's like, you know, when different studio have access to different IPs like this, you can get something like Logan. When Wolverine's eventually a part of, you know, the MCU, like you're not gonna maybe necessarily get that. But what they're doing with TV is kind of proving me wrong, you know, where it's just like, I mean, this stuff is really fucking out there and weird. Like, so who knows? Who knows, man? And that could still, you know, we don't know a ton about their TV. We know a lot about their TV plans, but it hasn't yet come to fruition. So we will see what that means. And to say, you know, and there's some things that DC do that really hit, like Birds of Prey really hits. It's still trapped in its continuity though, where you have to be like, yeah, it does a good job breaking away from it, but I'm still like kind of confused as an audience member or a casual audience member. It's just like, so is this the Suicide Squad sequel? And then they're rebooting Suicide Squad, and that's even more confusing.
Well, so, Birds of Prey is the most Joker-esque of the DCEU movies, because it is the one that's very much removed from everything else that I think worked out. Like, we liked it because we were just like, this is like a solid story that's happening in this movie that I'm watching. Like, it's not too... And that's not to say like that's a problem that Wonder Woman 1984 has, which it is not. The movie has tons of its own problems. It doesn't need to rely on the issues of being connected to an extended universe because, again, it is just 40 years disconnected. And I agree with you that I would imagine Patty Jenkins is going to make a third one that'll take place just before whatever was supposed to be happening in BVS, DOJ, and Justice League and all that, JL as it's known.
JL.
And then she'll walk and she'll be like, now you can do whatever you want with the character. I'd imagine Gal Gadot is probably signed on to do at least 10 of these movies, and more power to her for it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we know Patty Jenkins is gonna do that Rogue Squadron movie. I'm curious to see her attached to another Gargantuan property. I you know, the thing is with me, I want Patty Jenkins movies to be good. Like, you know, I'm in her. I don't want that shit to be bad.
No,
I don't want any.
This is the only.
This
movie is the only thing that I've seen of Patty Jenkins that I don't like. And I like her thumbprints that are on it. And I think it's just a misfire, and that's fine. Directors are allowed to have that. They can have it, you know?
I think it's a really, and you know, if you're going to have a misfire trying to do something really ambitious, like, hey, man,
exactly.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. Like, you know, it's not the worst. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, as the biggest genre or subgenre in the world continues to evolve, we'll see what shapes and sizes it takes. I mean, it seems right now DC's kind of trying to do the same thing and just kind of hitting their head against the wall, and I think they're going to have some success.
I mean, everything after
But Marvel's changing. I mean, they're like, the thing about Marvel is that they are doing things that are radically different. They're taking risks.
Yeah, because they've got the clout to do it now. Like, they can literally do whatever they want. After Endgame, they're just like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. Like, that's the thing with Marvel movies is like there hasn't been a bad, like an actually honest to goodness bad Marvel movie in years, because they've got their formula down. They're like McDonald's. It's like, listen, like it's not like, you know what you're going to get. So they've already created that brand where it's like, you know what you're going to get. So even the stuff that doesn't work for you as much as it might for everybody else, that makes you not like the movie as one or the other, you're still like, I got what I wanted out of it. It was maybe not as good as these other ones that I saw, but it's like, it's good. Endgame is not my type of movie at all, but I liked it because I was like, I knew what the movie was going in. Marvel has clearly defined like what their brand is at that point, and I'm really excited for them to reset and go to smaller solo stories like Black Widow and Eternals and stuff like that, even though Eternals is probably going to be this grand bombastic thing. And it's just like with DCEU, I'm just like, I'm not really interested in everything I mean, that's not true. Like the James Gunn Suicide Squad, I am very much into.
I want to see it. Yeah,
but that's the outlier. And the Matt Reeves Batman doesn't count as far as I'm concerned, because there's been no link that it is connected to the DCEU in any way.
No, I mean, I think they're doing like an HBO show that takes place in the world of the Pattinson movie. But again, that like, who gets? I doubt that's necessary viewing. You know. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see, I think DC doesn't have the clout yet to do whatever the fuck it wants, but, it does have other, like, I really like the Harley Quinn show, the cartoon on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. It's so good, and it's because it's kind of like a procedural, like, funny, it almost reminds me of, like, BoJack Horseman. There's like an overarching thread, but each episode, like, Harley Quinn's trying to get into a different adventure, and you see all these characters that are very familiar in different lights. And for me, it's just like, like, I almost wish we got to see more stuff like that. And DC, I haven't watched all of DC's animated fairs. I know some are better than others, so they'll keep doing that. But the state of their properties, like, I don't think it's so dire where it's like they're fucked. I think as long as superheroes are in, they can keep throwing paint on the wall, but like it'd be nice to see them really hit, and like Wonder Woman just kind of stings, I think, a little bit hard because Shazam was kind of okay. You start to see the ship maybe turning in a certain direction. I think it really started with Aquaman, where Aquaman's just like, hey, this is not the dour, super serious Snyder movie you're used to. This is not a good movie, but it's something is starting to change behind the scenes. Then you get Shazam, and you're like, it has a lot of the problems that a lot of these DC movies have, but it also has a lot more character and charm than they have. And then you get Birds of Prey, and you're just like, it's not really well received by wide audiences, but it's probably the best received critically, and it's really like something that is bold. And then you also have Joker, which you can't not talk about. And Joker is one of the biggest movies of the last few years, and was met with conversation
and critical acclaim. I mean, that's kind of I guess awards acclaim.
It got a standing ovation at that one award ceremony. So but the thing, it had impact. It made impact, and that's not something you could say about a lot of the Marvel movies. They don't get standing ovations at the art show.
But also, Joker is technically not DCEU, so it's like,
yeah, exactly.
That's outside of the conversation. Until they bring it into the DCEU, which is maybe what they're trying to do with their multiverse ripoff thing. Sure.
They've gone back and forth with saying whether Joker's a one-off or not.
They'll make another one. They have to. They made too much fucking money on it.
It made so much fucking money.
And the people that are involved in Joker don't give a fucking shit. They're not art. They have no artistic integrity. They're just like, that's the air that was put on there. They're like, it's a one-off. We're very solid on telling the story. And they will make a Joker 2 in a fucking heartbeat for the amount of money that they're going to offer them.
Is the money green,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Like,
is it as green as Joker's hair that he dyed? Okay.
We'll see. We shall see. Well, Mike, this has been a very, very fun, long conversation, almost as long as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we got to get out before it's as long as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, no, then no one's going to listen to this. But if you have been listening this entire time, thank you very much for listening. We are not the only podcast on StoryScreenBeacon.com. StoryScreenBeacon.com is the host of many podcasts, articles, and reviews. We also have a members-only service. For $5 a month, you have access to a exclusive feed of content. If you can't get enough of what we got, we have more. So please go onto our website and subscribe to that. The money helps us out, keeps the lights on, has us getting more equipment so we can make more killer content. Because of the money that we've already received from it, we've been able to do video content. We've been able to do all kinds of really fun stuff. So that money really means a lot to us. We really appreciate it. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms. Please follow us on Twitter and talk to us. We're always posting on Twitter, and we love to talk to you guys. And if you really like our content or you really hate it, we'd love to hear from you either way. So please do that. Buy a fucking t-shirt. Buy a mug. Thank you, Mike, for joining me.
You're welcome, Robby. This is great.
This is great. And thank you guys so much for listening. We'll catch you next time with the next hot take or whatever venture we go on. Until then, peace.
Bye.